Welcome everyone, Simon here from the Whales of Wall Street. We have XPR Proton as an update video right now for you guys. As I've mentioned in a couple of videos today, apologies for lack of videos, fighting off a cold, we're at the end of it, we will prevail, and we will prevail with Proton. So guys, before we go into the chart, just a couple of items. So we have a lend out, or the loan token video dropping over the weekend. I did actually do a video for this earlier in the week. I had planned to launch it yesterday, but caught wind, of course, of a announcement recently about, of course, HIT BTC, so an exchange adding the loan token, but now also with the airdrop mechanism. So I'm actually redoing the video, which I'm doing later today, so it should be live or uploaded either tomorrow or Sunday, so look out for that. I know there's a lot of demand in the comments for an introduction to the loan mechanism of Proton and why it's important, why it's interesting, and what you can do in order to get them, as well as take advantage of things like the staking and of course the airdrops that we just mentioned briefly. But also so yeah, we'll cover that and chuck that one out over the weekend, so keep an eye out for that. And just another quick update here. So TicketFairy, so thanks to NFT Evening for this piece of news here. It's a few days back now, so some of you may have already seen this, but I just wanted to emphasize the aspect of this. So TicketFairy very much involved in ticket sales and interaction at events, and of course NFTs being a massive thing, particularly this year. But as we progress, especially in the live event scenario, as well as virtual as well, there will be a tie-in with this, I'm sure, down the line, in the sense that if you couldn't make the concert or whatever, I like watching YouTube ones, when things are, I'm not able to go to it, but I can watch it on YouTube or watch a highlights or whatever afterwards. But actually, the anticipation of being able to use this kind of mechanism and blockchain and go into like metaverse in the near future to be able to watch them live from your living room, as it were, is also another area or arm of this aspect. But for now, with the TicketFairy situation with blockchain, of course, you've got the element of like smart contract and the trust mechanism, so kind of proving and confirming that you definitely got the ticket, so like very much easier to get in and out of events, and also stops things like manipulation, fraudulent activity, all of that good stuff that blockchain brings to the table. But also things like with Proton allowing the wrapped cryptocurrency assets, so like where you've got the XBTC, for example, whatever, because of that aspect of the Proton wallet being so beautiful in the way that it operates on its user experience and everything. That aspect of the username and transferring, sending, receiving money in an easier way. The idea behind TicketFairy, from what I believe as well, is going to be like if you're at the event, you can access VIP areas easier through the mechanism of blockchain proof and everything. But also, if you want to purchase things at the event like merchandise or drinks or whatever, it could be allowed that the Proton app is allowed as a mechanism of payment. Of course, that then opens up the opportunity for you to utilize your different assets or portfolio assets to pay for things, so rather than using your existing sort of cash, as it were. So I think there's some really good information there. Go check out the website TicketFairy for more information, but they've got a multitude of events going on left, right and center around the world. But I think it's very early days, but it's certainly another mechanism of why I'm interested in Proton, because it's gone from like my original thought process of we've done the Proton intro video, we've done the staking, and we get a good idea of Proton, but actually there's loads more that can be done, and it's really kind of like opening up to be this massive infrastructure of how we can move and operate and buy and sell in the world, and it's an absolutely phenomenal project. Go and check out our other videos on those, but we can't speak highly enough of Proton. So let's jump into the XPR chart. Smash that like button if you're enjoying what you're listening or watching right here, and subscribe to the channel if you've not done so already, and welcome aboard if you're new to the channel. So guys, XPR last couple of days have been quite interesting. So we had the Bitcoin kind of leverage drop a couple of days ago. It hadn't had massive effect on XPR, to be honest, because we're already in kind of like a bit of a downward trend here. So those that are new to XPR or wondering what's going on, well, the argument is that we've had a massive rise, really, equally from that sort of July, even June point, from these low points of not even a third of a cent. We've climbed ourselves up to a recent high, 19th of October here, as a high of 0.052, so 5.2 cents, or very much 5.3 cents nearly. And that has been a big rise, really. Even from these lower points here in September and into October, there's massive gains. Now, currently, we've had approximately a retracement of around about 40% from this top point here on the 19th of October. Are we done yet? I'm not sure. So what I've done here, and this is based on my movements, this is not financial advice or anything like that. So we hit this buy option here. So I had a bag of USDT ready, and we've also hit this one. So if you remember the previous video, we put these two here. I've moved this one from down the lower region, just because I couldn't be bothered to draw another box. A bit lazy of me, but I do believe in my mind that there's still a possibility that we might come down to these lower regions. Okay, so I put a buy order in here at, some might argue this is a bit too low, because some people might just think around that sort of maybe 2.9, 2.8 cents mark, but I'm being cheeky. So I've got a load of XPR already, and I've got a bit of spare cash there, see if we can get some cheeky buy-ins. So I've got one around 2.7, and I've got one at a slightly lower region, just over the 2 cents. Could it come lower than that? There is a possibility of that happening, of course, as well, maybe even lower. But I think that XPR right now, certainly in the short term, is in the next 2-3 days or so, we're going to see if 3 cents is really our support mechanism. So as of recording, we're floating around that 3.2 cent mark, nearly 3.3. The last 3 days, we've tried to attack that 3 cent mark. So we had the Bitcoin day, as it were, a low of 3.1. Yesterday, 3 cents on the nose, guys. That is incredible to see that bang on pinpoint. So it's clearly showing you there's good belief in this project to keep this floating, right? And today as well, we've had to drop down to 3.1 again, and thus far have been retracing quite well. So 3 cents is the target here, guys, in my opinion, over this weekend period. If we can obtain this over the next 24 hours or so, we might start pushing back up again. We'll have to see. But I just wanted to reiterate why I've put these buy options down here. It's not because I don't believe in the project. I'm being realistic. In a sense, we always talk about take profits along the way up. But equally, in my opinion, it's good to also think about on the way down as well. So if you're obtaining, if you're selling XPR and you're looking to reaccumulate without having to put your own capital in, it's a good way of doing it, because that's what I've been doing with my bags in some occasions, not necessarily with XPR, but on another couple of different assets. In this one in particular, I'm happy to be accumulating XPR in these various buy opportunities. Obviously, the lower the better, because I believe in the project, believe where it's going. But what I want to emphasize here, if you look back all the way around here into April and March time, there's a massive gap here between this sort of period at the beginning of April up until roughly around about the sort of first or second week of October. So there's been no real kind of attitude towards support and resistance, like where are we actually going. So right now, since sort of arguably these kind of periods, and you've got to kind of forget really the previous like launch patterns, which are, I think we got to an all-time high around 11 cents, is this aspect of where is our support line. So even the short term here, we've got a massive gap that's been exploding upwards, of course, but obviously that big gap that we just mentioned in over those few months is quite a critical thing to be looking at as well. So that's why I've drawn those in there. It's not just on macro data in the short term, it's also about what's happening in the long term. So right now the MACD is moving into a bit of a bearish mood. The volumes are slowly but surely increasing in terms of a selling volume. And the RSI has been dropping slightly as well. But that's not to say that it always continues a mirrored image of what we've done in the buy-in volumes. It may be a short-term kind of thing. That's why I'm saying the next couple of days are going to be really interesting to see if 3 cents becomes a support mechanism. However, always try and prepare a plan B. That's why we got this area down here. Some may be thinking that's absolutely ridiculous. XPR should go to the moon constantly. It doesn't work like that, guys. So we've seen a phenomenal aspect of gains. Even myself from my portfolio buying them at around the 1 cent mark or less, thanks to the people that introduced it to me a couple of months ago or so. And I've seen incredible gains. but I'm not trading this one in particular. I'm staking it, and I'm continuing to do that, and I will continue to add to my bag, as I believe anything under 10 cents for this project is absolutely phenomenal for its long-term perspective. I'm not interested in the next few months, albeit that I believe they will do great things in the charts and get people a load of money, which is what I want for everyone out there. But for me, more importantly, is like the long-term aspect that I'm just really massively accumulating in these lower end regions of this price point where I think it will go in the future, and taking advantage of that. So I'm just chucking them into staking. So the next couple of years, whatever the APR is on that, because I think currently floating around 5%, it may fluctuate. Maybe the long staking will come open again, and that'll be phenomenal because I think that's up to 50%. We'll have to see how that goes. But you know, I think it's very early days for this project. Loads of things coming off the roadmap. Always look at the roadmaps, look at our intro video and things like that, as well as other channels. It's always good to get various opinions on different channels, but I think what you will find, including with ours, is the emphasis around this project, of its potential, what it's doing right now, and you know, obviously those things on the roadmap are really important. So I think you're going to get a very good conclusion that this is a fantastic project to get involved in at a very early stage. But let us know in the comments below, are you holding XPR, are you staking it? If you are staking or want to stake it and don't know how to, you can watch our staking video, which I'll put a link to in a second. But very much, guys, that's kind of wrapping up most of that. As I said, recapping right now, around this 3 cent mark is really interesting. Could we come lower? That is of course a possibility. We benchmarked some areas that we could do that, but I'm hoping then in the next couple of days we'll see if 3 cents is bang on the money, and we can start maybe switching this around quicker than we thought we would. So we'll monitor this, we'll update in a couple of days time. I for one am just continuing to accumulate as and when I can. The RSI flowing around that midpoint right now, so it's a bit of a limbo aspect. That's why I'm talking about 3 cents right now. So we'll see where we go, and we will update you in the next couple of days. Guys, thanks for watching. We will jump back into another video, hopefully by at least Monday. Thanks, and bye bye.